Hi, amazing sister CEs. This is Spring Mingy, and I am sharing about my experience to Haiti. Um, I know how it feels when everyone who comes back from a vision trip says, you have to take a vision trip. But you know what? It really is true. When Aaron encourages all of us to apply, now that I've been, I completely understand why. So I hope that everyone will take the opportunity to apply for the next vision trip. And I am a woman of many words, so I'm going to try to make this extremely brief. And honestly, I'm still processing everything, even a couple weeks upon returning. I'm still processing. And while I was in Haiti, I was stopping and thinking every day, trying to take everything in, trying to be very present, and thinking about all of you, and thinking about what is the most important thing for me to bring back. I honestly wish that I could transport everybody to this experience. But while I was there were a few moments I had where I felt deep, deep down in my spirit that this is something so important. And this is my sort of aha thing to bring back and to share. So there were three, I think, very deep moments like that. And the first one I want to share about happened just in listening to Shelly. Um, I'm so thrilled she's coming to retreat. And let me tell you, you do not want to miss retreat. You do not want to miss the opportunity of meeting Shelly, of being able to give her a hug and being able to hear from her. She is one of the most humble, gentle spirited people that I have met. And she has just this wonderful, gentle, quiet spirit. Her voice is so soft and quiet. And it was really powerful to listen to her. And I learned about what poverty culture means, what an unemployment culture means. So when we share with people that Haiti, 80% of Haiti is unemployed, it was just a statistic for me before that sounds terrible, but to be there, to be actually in Haiti and seeing the impact of what that statistic means was intense. And Shelly shared a little bit about that, about poverty poverty culture, and how a big aspect of what she does is soul care. That, this is so much more than just business and just jobs. This is actually ministering, respecting, honoring, cultivating a soul. And that really resonated with me. And so Shelley said something that struck me very profoundly. And I think that it happened when I think I asked her a question, and her answer to me, I knew this is so important for our group and for me to share. Shelley said that the number one way that her artisan group, and really all of our artisan groups, grow, the number one way they grow is through our business model of direct sales. That is what enables her at an exponentially faster rate to be able to provide and offer more jobs. And I say that to you, and I really hope that you will allow that to sink in so deep. I don't know if you're like me, but I believe in direct sales, but I have to say that there have been times in my journey, which I have been with Trades of Hope now for almost a year and a half, and there have been times where I can feel like when I share that I have a home party business, that we are sort of the red-headed stepchild of businesses. That there are many people that have sort of a skeptical attitude, maybe suggesting that we're a pyramid scheme or whatever it is, but that direct sales sort of can have the persona of just not being very credible. But I am telling you today, and I hope that this will sink very, very deep in your minds and your hearts and in your spirits, that what we're doing, the business model that our founders chose, it absolutely is brilliant, and it is the number one way that our artisan groups are growing. And that was so exciting to hear and very confirming. And I hope that it will confirm for you too. Any questions, any hesitations that you may have, I just want you to be convinced. And I know Shelly wants you to be convinced that what we are doing, what you are doing, really, really matters. And it matters deeply. And those were her words. When I asked her, what is the number one thing that you think that we should take back and share? She said, for each of you to be able to, deep in your heart, understand the impact that you are having. So that really struck me because not just Shelly, but also Chandler, who leads Haiti Co-op Design, who makes the Haiti Campus Bag and the Threads of Love necklace, she really said something along the same lines to me in conversation. And I thought that was pretty awesome, that she appreciates so much the genuine relationships that she has with us and with our home office. And our business model of job creation, sustainable business, what it's doing for women here in the States and what it's doing for Haiti Co-op Design is amazing. And there really is no better method and no better way of business to grow than what we're doing. So if you think about it, Shelly and some of our other artisan groups, they sell their products in a boutique or a standing store. And so in order to increase volume and sales, then you have to get more people in through the door. But with our business, we are the storefront. So we are taking the stories of our artisans. We are taking these products into the homes of women all across this country, and we are exponentially sharing as we host 8 or more parties, however many parties you host. With all of our parties that we're hosting, then we are exponentially creating more jobs and opportunity. And not just that, but then when we seek after sponsoring and we have women that join our teams, exponential growth. So I just want to encourage you to keep doing all of the things that Marianne, that Erin, that everyone's teaching us and training us and spurring us on to do, because it really matters. And I was able to see that firsthand. So a second aha for me would be when I, along with Jenny and Debbie, had the opportunity to chat for an extended amount of time with Z, who is the guest house manager, and he does a lot of work for Shelly. And Z, his story was shared, I believe, on our page, just a little snippet of his story. He drove us while we were in Haiti, and he is actually a deportee. So he grew up basically for all intents and purposes here in the States and speaks great English, and he was able to translate for us some of the time, but he had wonderful things to share. And what he said that impacted me the most is he explained that so many of our artisans do not know how to write their own names, that they signed their name with an X. And I thought about that, and I thought about what it would feel like to not be able to write who I am, to not know my birthday, to not have a birth certificate. So many of the things that make me, me, that I identify, ways that I express my identity, are basic things that our artisans do not have. And so when Shelly meets so many of our artisans, that's the position that they're in. But I learned that Shelly goes from meeting someone who cannot sign their name and doesn't know their birthday to taking them from there all the way to learning skills, to have a sustainable business, to have their own bank account with their own debit card, and in many cases being able to have a credit card with a small balance on that. But it's amazing to think about that. And I asked Z, what do you feel like is the biggest impact in our partnership? And he said that it is creating honor. It is creating dignity among the people, and just the spirit of dignity that comes from the very special type of business partnership that we share with our artisans. And I was actually able to tell him how my family here in America is benefiting from the business partnership that we share. And it was so cool to see on Z's face the realization that he and our artisans there are impacting and bettering the lives and the futures of families here in the States. That was, I think, a really profound and awesome moment for him too. And the last thing that was really just struck me and stuck with me was the opportunity that I had to meet Gina. When we walked around the Apparent Project and we're meeting our artisans, and it is incredible to see all of the jobs that are created just for one piece, for one beautiful necklace. How many jobs are made there, and that was amazing to see. And Gina, Shelly went to bring her around to us, and I immediately recognized her, and I could not help myself. I had to shout out her name, and I ran up to her, and I said, "This is Chris Nelly's mama," and she smiled and shook her head yes. Though we don't speak the same language, she understood that, and she gave me a huge hug, and it was such a special moment. And it's something that I will always treasure, because I've always been inspired by Erin's story about meeting her for the first time on her first day of work and holding Chris Nelly on her first day of daycare. And to know that a year and a half later, Gina has gained probably about 25 pounds. So she's looking really healthy. She is beaming and smiling. And Shelly shares that she is doing so excellent in her business. So I hope that truly encourages and lifts all of you up. I pray that you will take this and really utilize it in your presentations and when you are preparing and thinking about your business and your parties. I hope that you will feel the strength and the courage in knowing that what you're doing really deeply matters, and that we are the ones. We are the number one reason why our groups are growing and able to add more jobs. And I just have to say that it was really incredible to hear Shelly share that a recent order that we put in with Trades of Hope actually helped to cover almost her entire payroll for the month, which is amazing. And so since I heard that, I am making it sort of a personal goal of mine to really pursue and seek and just sit it out in the universe, like Erin said, to be able to triple Shelly's payroll, to be able to send her triple what their payroll would be, to think about all the jobs that would increase and would be able to be added as a result of that sort of work. So I hope that you feel inspired, and I also really hope that you will take the opportunity to seek after visiting Haiti. It left a permanent mark and place in my heart. And as a side note, if you are a coffee drinker, they have the most amazing coffee. I loved every moment of it. In addition to the business impact, it's also an amazing way to bond and to grow with other sister CEs. And I know of no other company that travels and spends time like that with anyone in the company, the CEOs spending that close and that deep of time with anyone in their company. So it was such a blessing to get so much one-on-one time with Gretchen, with Elizabeth, to be able to get to know Julie better, and to be able to have so much access and training to Marianne. So it was a beautiful, amazing, breathtaking, inspiring time. And I love you all. And let's keep working. Many hands make the load light. So let's make this load lighter for our artisans. And let's keep going forth in great patience, because the truth is, sustainable business is a long, long process. And our artisans have to be patient every day as their lives are transforming, but it's a really slow process. And the temptation to give in, the temptation to cut corners, I imagine must be huge. After being in Haiti and just the oppression of the heat, of the poverty, of the corruption, all of these things can be so suffocating. but there's so much hope. And so when you're feeling weary, I hope that you will draw encouragement from that our patience, that our tenacity is coupled with the very same things that our artisans have to fight for and fight through too. So let's continue to fight together for change. Love you all. Bye.